Hi, my name is Sarah and I'm with the Central Arkansas Library System, and today I'm going to demonstrate some jewelry techniques and we're going to learn how to do a keychain. So here we go. Alright, so I'm going to discuss some of the tools and materials that I'm going to use. So our first one is I'm going to cut 8 inches, about 8 inches of some beading wire. And I'm using Beadalon, and it's a really good beading wire. I use it for a lot of stuff, particularly if you want something that will not like break apart. Another tool I'm going to use is these cutters and a Crimp Bead Crimper and these Crimp Beads. Whatever you would like to use, you can as far as beads go. I'll show you the ones I chose for my project. I did some like teal round beads, some gold beads. These are like teal and gold, and then these little teal bicone beads. And I'm fairly certain I got the majority of these like at Michael's or Hobby Lobby. I always wait for that sale, the 50% off sale. This is what we'll be making. You can kind of see. I added a little charm at the end. It says, "Not all those who wander are lost." Real cute. Another thing we use is a lobster clasp. This way you can turn it into a scissor fob, which I know a lot of sewing ladies love to use. Shout out to my ladies who cross stitch. These are great for attaching to your keys, to your purse, to any little bag, and scissors. These are great to attach to your scissors. Let me tell you, I made one for myself because I didn't want to forget whose scissors they were at work. So I always knew the ones with the scissor fob on it were mine. All right, so I'm going to cut over to our table and I'm going to show you how we put this together. All right, to get started on our keychain, I'm going to take my bead stringing wire. It's kind of hard to see in the camera here. It's about 8 inches. So the first thing I'm going to do, because I really want to put a little trinket at the bottom. See, I'm not sure if you can read that in my camera. Not all who wander are lost by J.R.R. Tolkien. For any of you Lord of the Rings fans. We're gonna put that on first. Now, we're going to use some crimp beads. These are little tiny beads, and I'm not sure if you can even see. It's real tiny. It's a little tube, and it allows us to thread. See, I just put it on the end. Now, I'm gonna also put my little tag at the very end, and I'm going to double it over. So I'm going to fold it and put it back through the tube. So you're making a little loop. So I have both wires are through that little tube. And so it's going to act as, you know, it's hanging on to this little charm. So to get it to stay, we are going to use this Bead Crimper. You don't, if you don't have one of these at home, you don't always need a bead crimper. You can just use some round nose pliers and just, because what we're doing is we're smushing the bead so that it closes and clamps around the wire. So You can absolutely use some round nose pliers to squish it, basically. But I'm going to use these bead crimpers because it kind of puts a dent in the middle first. Let's see. I'm going to squeeze it. Make sure I got all of it. All right. Okay, so now I'm going to flatten it, because all I'm doing is squishing. There we go. Okay, so we have this little tiny crimp bead at the very end. It's keeping this on. This is, sorry, I just shook the camera, but it's very sturdy. And we're going to cover up the little bit of this wire too with beads. So now I'm going to start stringing some beads on here. Now, what I always say to do that really helps is to lay out the beads in a pattern that you like and want to put it in before you start stringing. This really applies to anything you make with beads. It always helps to visualize what you want to do. So I'm going to go ahead. I want this gold. I have this two little gold beads, and then one with this kind of teal and copper. It's kind of hard to see it. And then I have these little bicone beads. I believe it's a bicone. And one thing I really like to do when I'm making these kind of keychains is I like to put some bling. I want something shiny. And I'm going to put that right in the middle. And because I like symmetry, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do this pattern kind of backwards now, so that my two little gold beads are at the very end. There we go. So starting at the bottom, I'm going to string it on. And I want it to go over this little extra wire that's hanging off. So thread both wires through there. I say as it doesn't do it. Okay, there we go. And then go to the next bead. Put that one over both wires so that it's hidden. Now, optionally, you can cut it if you would like. I just kind of prefer to not have any little bits that might poke out. All right, see, it's coming along. These little gold beads, it is hard to see where the end is. All right, there we go. Okay, so now I have strung on my beads on the keychain. And really, this also works for bracelets or necklaces you might want to do. This beading wire is great for all of that. You can use the exact same technique with the crimp bead to attach ends, like snaps, to the ends if you want to make a bracelet. It's a very easy way to make sure that the wire stays on and doesn't come apart. So now I'm going to finish it. I'm going to put my second crimp bead, a little tiny bead. I'm going to put that on first. And I might, here we go. I was going to say I might need to get a different crimp bead. Okay, then I'm going to put my Lobster Clasp. This is so I can put it on scissors, a purse, a bag, really anywhere you want to put it, your keychain. Let me tell you, a lot of sewing ladies love to have their scissor fobs. All right, let's see if I can't thread this back through. Okay, so just like I did at this end, I folded it over and tucked it back in. So you can see I bent it over, fed it back through the bead. Now I'm going to pull it tight, and we want this to come all the way to the end. Now what I'm going to do is, before you crimp it, I'm going to feed it through another bead. So I fed it right there, I fed it through a couple beads. And I'm going to kind of tug on it a little bit, make sure it's tight. I'm going to cut my string, or my wire, I mean. I'm going to cut, see, I got it sticking out. I'm going to cut this little bit as close as possible. And see, I haven't crimped it yet, so it can still kind of pull out. It's kind of hard to hold it and do that. There we go. Okay, so you can still see a tiny bit of wire sticking out. So what I'm going to do, because I didn't crimp it, I'm going to pull it just a little bit, and then now I'm going to crimp it. All right, now I'm squishing it so that it's on there nice and tight. And there we have it. We have a cute little keychain. I'll hold it up, you can see it a little bit better. All right, well, thank you all so much for watching, and we should have another jewelry class next week, so tune in to Facebook or YouTube to see our next one. Thank you so much. Be safe out there. Bye.